This iconic 240SX was in Formula D for quite some time, piloted by Nate Hamilton. It was up to 1,000 horsepower at times, was a crazy neat car. Let's see where it is now, but first let's watch some video of it from back then, skip forward to now, let's get started. So here we are looking at old Formula D cars. This is Nate Hamilton's FD S13. I'm over at his shop right now. He's gonna tell you about his shop. He's gonna tell you about his car. I'll interject with questions every once in a while. Let's get started. All right, we have here, it looks like to me, an S13 with, oh God, the aero catch.
I got you.
A really fancy looking V8, which if I remember it right, this car used to have a a turbo on it. It has Wise Fab, it has BC Racing coilovers, all kinds of beautiful parts. It has the air intake that sticks out the hood, which I absolutely hate to death, but he's just gonna roll with it.
We've tried to make it look smooth, you know what I mean?
He has NK RPF1s, which I love. Full race car interior, dog box. Interesting setup there with that rod. All right, let's step right here and you start telling me about the car. Oh.
Uh-oh.
And fancy stuff back there.
Big Band-Aid.
All right, so what is this car? When was it built?
So this car is a Nissan 240SX, and this was built at Enjuku Racing in 2005.
Oh, wow, that's forever ago.
Yeah, so I think I should back up. I think the actual roll cage of this car was built in like 2014 from Chris Forsberg. But then from there, like 2015, it really got like a real refresh for the 2016 Pro 2 season.
Why was it built? Like specifically, no holds, all Formula D, as much Formula D as you can be, like 1,000 horsepower crazy car?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It was everything that you could put into a car that you could dream up. There was no holding back, like a full Formula D car.
Pretty much, honestly, yeah. It was built for Formula Drift, like from the beginning, and at the time, yeah, we put in the best effort we could to build a car.
How much horsepower did it make?
In FD?
Yeah.
Okay, so in FD, it had a Golen engine as well, but it was single turboed, and it made like 950.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Is that scary to drive?
It was pretty gnarly.
It's easier to drive with more power or just scary?
Easier to drive with more power.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the car is actually like a little bit quicker now, I guess as the driver, but yeah, so she makes like 640 right now.
Okay, and why did you pull that? I mean, there's so many different ways we could go.
I got you though, I got this.
Why did you pull the turbo off?
All right, so I pulled the turbo off. The true story, like in my heart, was because the car was too quiet. So in Formula Drift, I swear to God, in Formula Drift, like my spotter would get feedback from the judges, and literally they would say like, we can't hear his throttle control. So yeah, with the single turbo, it was just very, very quiet. So when I had the opportunity with Golen, we pulled the motor and we swapped it out.
I'm sitting here thinking like he did it for tire wear, he did it to make the car easier to like maintain, that there was too much heat in the engine bay to deal with.
Okay, if a drift car's tires squeal louder than the motor, you gotta do something.
So it wasn't any of those other reasons?
Not really, no.
That's crazy.
No, and the motor...
Did you like driving it with the turbo?
I really did, yeah. I think obviously driving it NA gave me a lot of perspective on the turboed motor, but yeah, I enjoy NA now because I have to drive it harder. But the turboed motor, I could just link anything. Like you can just stretch, put whatever gear you want in it, and just like...
And you're not going to put a turbo motor back in it or anything?
Nope, not the plan.
Okay. What else do you want to tell me about this car?
What do you want to know,
was it
man?
Successful?
I see this thing every day.
Did you love it?
I think
is
it
it
was
the ultimate 240? Are you going to build another one? Are you going to do FD again? Any direction you want to go?
I think like for what it's done, the car is super rad, right? Like we built it a long time ago, and it still goes around grid life with Chris Forsberg and Von Gittin Jr., right? So it's like, it's definitely still running a purpose, but yeah, it's a 240 and she rips.
So most Formula D cars, as I do this series, they are junked, like put away.
I mean, dude, like
dead.
This car, we can go through some of the stuff, but it's very beat up. This car is very hurt.
Oh, no, I mean like, why did yours survive and a lot of the other cars got pulled apart and left for dead?
I feel like I guess just like the real foundation of that is like not having as much money to build another car, right?
Okay.
Like if I could, I would just build another.
Weren't you
one,
building a 370Z?
Yeah, we have a 370Z. It's in like pretty much a what do you call it, where the car's not assembled yet, but a lot of the fab's done to it. What stage is that?
The part where you can't afford all the knickknacks to finish it.
There it is. Yes. So we do have a 370Z that's like well fabricated and on its way, but no, I haven't like put my effort into that car yet.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think this car does so well because A, we have a good team that takes care of it, and then B, the wrecks that it has been in haven't been like super gnarly, and I'm not being a super stickler on the suspension settings, so I just drive it.
Now, could this car be a competitive Pro 1 car as it sits right now?
No way.
Why not?
I think just honestly because of alignment specs, like the car's been wrecked so much, it's not getting good caster specs. It's not gonna keep up in the field.
You couldn't just fix that with frame pulls? All right. All right, show me around the car. So we have tube work back here.
Yeah.
As they say in Australia, bar work.
So this is the original stuff that we fabricated with Enjuku with Bub, who was like the engineer here. So basically, you kind of have an old school bash bar style. So this one is built to the frame, which is risky. And these are meant to collapse, which is kind of nifty. I go through about 12 of these a year.
Still, or just in Formula D?
No, still, yeah. I'll go to like North Dakota and run K-rails and just like kind of be able to collapse these in. I have a good taillight on right now, which is nice. So that's not scarred up or broken. Usually they are.
So this actually hits first and saves everything?
Yeah, I'll try to see if I can get a clip from my Dropbox to you for the video. But yeah, for sure.
Okay, rad.
This will hit.
Because these taillights are real expensive.
They really are. And I've saved a few of them, thankfully. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
It's rear mount radiator. You never damaged the radiator or anything putting it into the wall?
No, I have damaged the radiator, so check it out. So we can come up here. So basically, the radiator originally did sit here, which is nowadays like super risky.
Yeah, that's very far back.
It really is. So I broke it with Alec Honadale. Alec Honadale got into me at Clutch Kickers, and we did like shear off the inlet and the outlet and blah, blah, blah. It was a cool story. From there, Adam was at the track. Are you still filming?
Yeah.
You still good?
Yeah.
Okay. From there, Adam was at the track, and his crew basically told me about the newest like CNR/PWR radiator, the drift module radiator. So anyways, we installed this, and I mean the car literally, Aaron, idles at like 130 Fahrenheit.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like, it's like I gotta keep working with the fans to warm it up, but she's dirty right now. We just got done drifting with it, but yeah, she's still ripping as of last weekend.
All right, I have some questions. Could you get this fuel cell any more forward or move things around? Like this seems really far back to me. How is your thought process moving stuff around? Because like this is obviously higher than the stock fuel tank. There was nothing this far back in an original car. And I watch a lot of James Dean's YouTube videos or things like that. You've moved a lot of weight up and really far back. Does the car handle differently? Or
so this is the thing. This is my take on it. So this car, like we just literally are talking about this whole video, is 2015 time stamped. I just want to leave it like that.
Okay.
Like I really just wanted to like leave this car as long as I can the way it was built, because hopefully I can just shine it up and put it in a corner somewhere in the future.
Okay. I was gonna say, and also it costs a lot of money and effort to move stuff that already works. Well, so you're like, whatever.
Exactly, right? We're going through that on the 370, so it's like to frame everything and to move everything and fabricate, it's a big deal. So
is the 370Z here? Or a different location?
Different location.
Okay, so we can't really compare your new style of stuff.
Correct.
What is that box?
So that is oil, right?
Okay.
So we run a dry
sump.
sump. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yep. Do you like the fuel cell here?
As far as like,
I mean, like
the usability.
Yeah, the usability of it, everything else. Do you have another piece? I guess there's a piece that goes on top of this.
Yeah. So
is it
like,
serviceable? Do you like it?
It's decent. I mean, it's probably not the best like placement right now. Meaning, dudes can run necks out to the side that make it way easy. But yeah, so we'll spill some fuel. Okay. We have some fun with it there. As far as, what was your second question?
Well, what I'm asking is like, it seems like right now, you need to lift the trunk.
Exactly.
And you have to do this. Yep. And most of the Formula D dudes are putting fuel in every 2 laps. Like this looks difficult to fuel and difficult to service.
Yes, absolutely. I would say so.
That was my question.
Yeah. So we have a cover here, which barely fits. Like it literally is rubbing the sticker. So we have an original cover here on the 2F stuff, so all this can kind of move in. And then from there, we ended up doing MPC hardware, which we used to have rivets. So meaning like if you really had to go to the track, like my mechanic Adrian has pulled out the in-tank setup, we'd have to break out all these rivets. It was just a nightmare.
Does this top piece have a...
It has a hat. It has a latch.
Okay, so it has something, so you don't have to take it off.
It's around here somewhere,
Okay,
yes.
no, I believe you. You don't have to show
so
us.
there's a little flap, like crack, crack, boom, and then fill it up.
Very cool.
Yep.
Does this do much?
I think
Is
so.
this inlet for the
Yeah,
radiator?
so here's all the airflow for the radiator.
Very cool.
I will say these fans though, man, these fans kick ass. So like,
Yeah.
I do think that this helps, but like for the most part, the fans are probably doing all the work.
Is there a specific reason why you have your batteries mounted so high when they could go behind the seats?
No, like I said, this was originally built.
I'm just curious. I'm just asking questions. I'm not.
This was just like straight out of the box from Enjuku Racing. This was how we set it all up. Even having two batteries is kind of weird sometimes. So
Yeah. Well, I understand it. You're ballasting the car and all that stuff
Yeah.
and getting it up to weight probably.
Yep.
How much does it weight?
it
Or
was
weight?
2,800 pounds.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
heavy.
It's like 2,860 or something with me in it.
Even without the turbo off? Oh, with you in it.
Yeah, with me
Okay.
in it. Yeah, with the turbo off. Current.
All right. Let's keep looking around.
Yep.
Why RPF ones?
RPF ones because I've been on Ink. You know, Inkay was my first sponsor. You know this, Aaron. But anyway, so Alex at Inkay came up to me at Aaron's event and they were like, "Hey, what's up, Nate? We'd love to sponsor you." And Aaron got really mad at me.
Why?
Because I got sponsored and he wanted to be sponsored.
Oh, that sounds about right because I've been running these way before.
Yep, and that was the thing too. You guys seen the other video we probably did together, but like a lot of the car was inspired by the Texas dudes, and I big them up all the time for that because when I was younger, watching Aaron, Stu, those dudes, like they built cool cars, and that's who I looked up to build cars. Long story short, Alex at Inkay was my first sponsor, so we're still on Inkay to today.
Right.
Definitely trying to get it in a different like frame of wheel. I think like something.
I want the
new would be
PF05s.
cool. But look at this. Me too, dude.
Do you have
I just asked for those today. No lie.
Oh,
But
if you
look
get
at
those,
this.
I'm going to be mad.
This is why.
Why?
So
What do you mean?
me and Max go out and we hang out, and I'm always hitting or bumping something. So I think I'm on my 4th fronts this season, if you can
Yeah.
believe that.
So one of the things that you can fix that with is by running a wider front tire, because I have the same problem.
Yes.
And the problem is RPF ones are so lightweight that the lighter a wheel goes, you obviously give up some strength and everything. We
Yes.
all understand that. We make that choice.
Yeah.
These are based off of like an F1 style and everything, and we
Yeah.
love them. But again, they are a bit fragile on the outside. If you run like a 245 up front
Yeah.
and you get a bit of sidewall bulge, because right now your tire is not protecting the wheel. If
Yeah.
you get to the point where you run like a 255 or you go to a narrower wheel, you'll contact the tire instead and you won't have that problem.
So look at this.
I had to deal with that.
Look at that.
Ooh,
Not enough though. Not enough.
not enough.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look straight down, you can see what you're saying is true. There's
Yeah.
just barely any.
So you're putting the wheel into the other guy's car first.
Yeah.
And if you put it in the door, it's not a problem. But if you contact one of his spokes on a wheel, it's like game
I
over.
did both of that in one day.
Game over.
I did both of that in one day. You need
Yeah.
to get these clips.
Okay. How do you like this seat?
The seat's okay. Yeah,
Just
it's
okay?
Good. It's good. I really enjoy that one of the halos will exit.
I was gonna say
because
it's asymmetrical.
that's for my GoPro. So I run a
Ah.
GoPro on my helmet, but when
Okay.
you have the halos that can't be removed,
Mhm.
it's so hard to run a helmet cam in like a good perspective.
I didn't think about that. That's a good idea.
So, and then I was looking at newer Sparko seats, and then all of the halos are fixed, so you
Mhm.
can't remove them. So I just kind of stuck with the old school.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was just looking at Kirky's the other day. I went over to Smiley's and was like
Mhm.
sitting in them.
Mhm.
I liked them actually more
I
than I
like
thought I would.
Dude, I like the halo stuff for sure, but yeah.
Tell me about anything else in here you like.
Let's see. So, I mean, obviously, I'm working with Grip Royal,
Mhm.
so we do collabs on steering wheels. We have a new one coming out soon.
Okay.
So that's fun. Obviously, with the print house, creating is fun for me. So, like, kind of being able to create or put style into the car is what I like most. Same with the blue suede dash. That stuff's just kind of like aesthetically cool. But other than that, we're running Holly's like display. They gave me their newer display.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep, so this is nice and sleek. Stuart helped me, lease spec
Mhm.
helped me kind of mount it all up. Simple steering column to the original like rack. Simple pedal setup with the Willwood stuff. Some grip tape on there for style.
Mm-hmm.
4-speed gearbox. Like the drivetrain is kind of, like we said, 2016 FD shit. So it's
But it
just-
works.
Yeah, it works great, man. This drivetrain has worked so well from the axles to the drive shaft itself from Drive Shaft Shop. I mean, literally, I've been on the same stuff for like since 2017.
Is there anything you would change in the interior?
I mean, I'm using some of the DEI stuff, and it's definitely helping with heat.
Mm-hmm.
But since I've gone to the NA setup, the headers are hot. Like, passengers always complain about heat.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to work a little bit more there. But dude, it's just so simple. I don't know. Like, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's super chill.
All right, show me under the hood.
All right.
What's the transmission, by the way?
It's a G-Force, the 4-speed.
Uh-huh.
The GSR dog box, whatever you want to call it.
Have you ever drifted in 4th gear in it?
Always, dude.
So
yeah.
it's geared pretty short?
Yeah. I
is
have
it a
like
quick change?
100 mile per hour wheel speed in it right now.
Okay.
So like clutch kickers, I'll run like just a little over 100 mile an hour. Starting in 2nd gear, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, the whole track.
That's hilarious. Why not just do 2nd for the whole track?
I know, it just feels funner to shift, dude. So yeah, here we have the Golen engine.
I love rear mount. I just rear mounted, Mark rear mounted one of my cars.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I can stand in the engine bay.
Legit, dude.
Like,
There's
it's so nice.
So yeah, Golen, they started an opportunity with myself, and we created a very simple motor. We've sold like, I think a dozen of these things.
Oh, wow.
Like you can call Golen, order the 144 motor, and you get the exact same motor.
How much does this thing make?
Power?
Yeah.
So it makes about 640. I was gonna say 460.
Jesus.
Dyslexia.
What fuel does it
640.
run on?
I'm running VP's X85L, so it's a leaded ethanol.
How much compression?
It's 13 to 1.
And what's the displacement?
What is a 427 bored out a little bit to like a 433?
Probably just like 7.1 or something.
Something like that.
Maybe just 7.
Yep.
So it's a big boy.
It's a big kid. It's the LSX bottom end, LS3 top end, basically.
What's the package cost for a customer that goes and buys it?
I think it's like 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. Like, you've had turbo motors. You'll get there real fast in a turbo motor
Absolutely.
buying all the junk you need.
And I'm really doing like a little, I don't know what you want to call it, like just like proof of concept where I could go on my 3rd season of just changing oil.
That's amazing.
So I've had a lot of issues with other things, so I'm gonna send this one in to just check it out, but it's still running great, like literally.
Awesome.
So, which
What's
I'm
this
thinking
little guy
about,
for?
What's up?
Is that just for troubleshooting, or what is it supposed to read?
Crankcase pressure.
What's it supposed to read, and what is it not supposed to read?
I actually don't know, honestly.
Okay.
I never look at that gauge.
I was like, I'm about to learn something, and then he's like, nope, you're not going to learn anything.
No, man.
Okay.
It's so simple. It's just a very, very simple build.
Would you change your setup for anything like non-wise fab, or just like keep it wise fab?
What do the people in the comments say about FDF? I need to know.
Oh, you're throwing shade over here.
No.
Do you have the version 2, or do you have
This
offset
is
rack
V2.
space?
This is V2
Okay.
on Wi-Fi.
How do you like it?
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
It's good. I've blown a few racks out because I guess the bump stops you can set one through whatever, and I've set them a little bit too like they go
Aggressively?
too much angle. So Josh McGuire at JM63 is always rebuilding me some racks, but me and Adrian got it down now. So
Okay.
it gives us too much angle.
Tell me how to not blow the racks, because I just put this on one of my cars. So when we're off video.
I'm using just the bump stops at like the what do you want to? I'm trying to think about how to word this, Aaron.
They have little adjustment things
They
on
have
there.
adjustments, but
Yeah.
use the one that gives you the least amount of angle.
And it's still more than
It's
enough.
still a ton. It's still like way more than you need.
Okay. What's this front fender? Is that the 2F?
No, this is an Origin front fender.
Type 4 or whatever,
Yes,
the 75 mil?
The 75 mils.
That looks rad.
On a 2F kit, and then another Origin.
And did you need this offset bracket to do something specific?
That's just how me and Bub built it when we originally did it. All the fenders and everything can come on and off super simple. So
Okay.
I just left that.
But I mean, does this space it out so it's extra wide? I don't remember.
No.
Okay, so this would have a
It's like an
cut
OEM
down
space,
and all that.
yeah.
Okay.
But we just cut.
You
the
just
fenders
cut all that.
here and here.
Okay. So the original fender went back down and in and came down over here
Exactly.
and attached at the very bottom.
Exactly.
On the 2 bolts down
Yep.
there
So
that are
we-
always ripped up out of your chassis.
Exactly. Yep. So we cut it here, and then I cut it here. You see this, Aaron?
Yeah.
Because this is S14.
Oh,
on an
oh, I
S13.
forgot. I see front end swaps and I don't even
Yeah.
like phase me anymore.
Yeah. So this is an S14 front end on an S13. Dude, I want to get a new car. That's what I want to do.
Why? You mean this 370 or what?
Something.
Or you mean like a new car,
Yeah,
like a
just some-
400Z?
I don't know about all that. That seems like a stretch, but the
That's what a new car is.
That's very true. Okay.
A 370
Yeah,
is
I
like
want
a
one of those.
10-year-old
I
car.
want one of those.
You have
I
a
want to get
370.
it. I want to get out of a 240.
Why?
So I really don't want to change this one because I want to leave it as close to what it was when I originally built it.
Mhm.
But I want to get in a new car to be a lot more current and like be up to date with like what's going on in the industry.
Okay.
So
Very cool.
Yeah, and we took the doors off because we just made a little video on our YouTube for fun.
Which is irresponsible, and you should not do that. You should have adult supervision.
But dude, it's so fun.
Do not encourage people to do that.
Okay, when you take the doors off,
you can die.
When you go sideways and you're looking at the line, like you can follow your line.
It also feels like you're going a million miles an hour.
It's
than
amazing.
air hitting you.
And when you're chasing, like I chased Max down on some manjis, it's like a Larry Chin photo in real life. You just like, you get sideways, you see the car in front of you. Highly recommend.
I was drifting somewhere really fast recently. Maybe Hallett, I don't remember. But I was doing like 100-mile-an-hour entry.
Yeah.
And I threw the car like super sideways, and the wind was so much it like forced my helmet over because it wasn't tight enough. And like I almost couldn't see out of it. You're just like, oh God. You're like, the wind is hard at 100 miles an hour.
The AC works well with the doors off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, yeah, dude, I wouldn't change much. Sorry, it was just a simple build, you know?
No, it's cool. It's a Formula D car that's found a new life, and that's very rare for Formula D cars.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Can you think of anybody else that just like tools around at local events now and stuff in a Formula D car?
Me and Alec, dude. Me and Alec are at Clutch Kickers in our same builds from Enjuku.
All right.
I
guess that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's another one I could think of.
His car's pretty crazy though.
Dude, his car's ripping.
That is not like this car. Like this car, you could just like go tootle around.
Yeah, so my car, I would say for sure, has not kept up with current fabrications and current like settings, but his, they're doing a great job at doing that. So his stuff is a lot more updated.
I'm jealous of your engine, by the way.
The engine's sick, dude.
I don't have any engines like that. I guess the BMW engine makes kind of power like that. No, it's expensive.
We were talking to...
I can't afford that.
You can afford it, dude.
No, I can't.
Do you see how many shirts he just bought?
I can't afford it. Buy t-shirts, by the way. I'll put them on my website.
Yeah, but for real, check it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Good deal.
Thank you so much. What's your shop name?
144 Sprint House.
And what do you do?
So we are like creating t-shirts, embroidery, so screen print, embroidery, and just having fun in our race studio. So we just kind of maintain cars, have fun, and create stuff.
All right. Thank you so much. He's printing a bunch of stuff for me, and that's why I'm here today. Let's sabotage him.
It's tight, I promise.
Looking at his wiring.
That's a mess.
Internet,
dude.
rate his wiring.
That's a mess.
What's going on right there? That little spade guy. You're like, don't show that.
Nah, dude, show it all. We're learning. It's like, it is what it is.
What is that? I'm always looking at stuff. What is this little guy? Some radio comm thing?
Yeah.
Okay, radio.
So it'll plug in, so the orange will go to my helmet,
Yeah.
and then the box just will host the actual radio.
Oh, I have a good question, by the way.
What's up?
5 questions real quick.
Okay.
How many tires have you been through in your entire drifting career?
What's quick math? What is like 250 times 10?
2,500 or wait, yeah, 2,500.
Okay, so
that was
somewhere
easy.
around there.
Okay. And how many body kits have you gone through on the car?
Maybe like 2 to 3 a season.
All your drifting combined.
Dude, I've actually done pretty well
So
for myself.
over 20 body kits.
Yeah, for sure.
What else? How many wheels have you gone through?
Tires or
Wheels.
wheels? Not that many, dude. I'm doing good.
Okay.
And until my fronts, so I'm probably in the 60 range.
How many axles have you been through?
That's way less, dude.
How many cars have you been through?
Way less.
All right. I've had more than
So think about it.
60 Nissans.
I know it. This is where me and you are like opposite sides.
You just
of
have the
coin.
same thing
so
all
I have
the time.
one car forever. My whole career, pretty much. I had the first car, which is the 240, that I drove to work and then got my license in. Then I have this car, which is my only other drift car my entire career. Inkay wheels have been very...
Wait, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's why I have to get out of the 240.
I don't even recognize my own cars when I see them. I've had them so many.
I'm trying to get on y'all's page.
No.
How do I get there? You guys go to...
You don't want that. It's awful.
But yeah, no, this is the same car like the whole time.
All right.
Insane, huh?
Very cool. All right, thank you so much.
All right,
See you
later,
later. And a huge shout out to all the sponsors. We cannot do Lone Star Drift without them. This is an old flyer, but we'll use it anyways to promote everybody. Thank you to Velino Tires. Could not do this season without Velino Tires. Thank you so much. Tires are so hard to get this year, and thank you so much for keeping drifting alive in Texas and around the United States. Thank you so much to BC Racing Coilovers. Obviously, drifting would not be the same without the most supportive coilover company in the entire industry. Thank you to Spec Clutch, GK Tech, NK Wheels, What Monsters Do, ECU Master, and NRG Innovations. Thank you to all those guys. And huge shout out, NK was a huge part of not only Nate Hamilton's career, but Lone Star Drift and Aaron, that's me, and all that stuff. So huge thanks to all those guys. Bye, everybody.